Can you introduce about yourself?
Yeah. So, my name is Neha Bitale. Basically, I'm from Bhandara district and I have completed Bachelor's of Engineering from Nagpur University in 2018. Currently, I'm working at FCL Bangalore and I'm having 2+ years of experience in a software testing field. And my current designation is Quality Analyst. Currently, I'm working in insurance domain project. In that project, I'm using Selenium with Java as an automation tool based on Agile methodology. And for API testing, I'm using Postman tool. For database testing, I'm using Oracle SQL Developer. And for Jira as a project management tool. Uh, I have a good knowledge of SDLC and STLC. From last 6 months, I am working on both manual plus automation. Again, if I talk about my roles and responsibility as a quality analyst in my current organization, so to analyze the user story, before that, in a grooming meeting, to understand, to get a complete understanding of the functionality and user stories. Once we get complete understanding of functionality, then and understanding the functionality, then we go I go for the test case writing. And once I write the test cases, I get review from some of my seniors or colleagues. And once I get review from them, I started executing all the test cases. And uh, after that, if while testing, if I get any uh, a defect, so need to log in Jira.
So, can you talk about agile architecture?
Yeah. So in Agile architecture, it is the topmost faculty is a stakeholder, and he have all the requirements about the product. After that, uh, product owner is a person who gathered all the information from stakeholder and prepare the sprint backlog and product backlog document. Product backlog uh, uh, product backlog is nothing but the it contains the overall functionalities. Overall information of the functionality. And SRS, sprint backlog contains the specific functional requirement of that particular functionality. So in between them, both sprint product backlog and sprint backlog, there is a estimation. And estimation is nothing but the sprint planning meeting in which we can decide on which current user story we have to work on for current sprint. And in that complexity, uh, and we focus on 3 points in estimation: knowledge, effort, and complexity. In knowledge, all the resources should have the domain knowledge. In a resources, means for that product, to develop that product, particular resources like tester and developer requirement, they we can check there. And complexity is based on knowledge, effort.
Okay,
So we
so
can
who prepares sprint backlog?
sprint backlog prepared by the BA, means product owner.
Okay, and it have all the like list of the user stories, right? Which will
Yeah,
work on the current sprint.
yeah.
Okay, what is sprint?
Sprint is nothing but the release or version of product.
Okay, okay. So you have to talk in terms of time. So it is like a time required for a release of particular domain, particular module,
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Uh, now tell me, when will you perform retesting and when will you perform regression test?
Yeah, so in file testing, if I raise any defect and to the respective developer, so developer will start working on that defect to get fixed. And once he work on that and he reassign me back like to test it is that defect is still appearing in the functionality or not. So in that case, I will perform retesting. And regression testing perform in three conditions, like if the new functionality is getting added to the previous functionality, and to get the dependencies of the uh, modules, we perform regression testing.
Okay, so whenever there is like any new functionality is getting added into the domain, we check if the domain is working fine or not. That is nothing but the regression testing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What is the difference between functional and non-functional testing?
Functional and non-functional is a part of um, system integration testing.
Okay.
And in functional testing, we focus on the internal functionalities, and for non-functional testing, we focus on external functionalities.
Okay. Can you give some example?
Yeah, in a non-functional for functional testing, we just take for like we can provide the input in attributes. We can check for error message.
Okay.
So these are the internal functionalities we check, and for non-functional we just check for like our system is compatible with the uh, hardware, like uh, OS and all.
So your example should be little more clear, right? Like there are a number of coverages in functional testing.
Yes.
Info domain coverage, we are having behavioral coverage, then error handling coverage, database coverage, like that, right?
Yeah.
Not to mention all those parts. In non-functional also, we check dependency of our application with other applications or other systems. The one you said was correct, like related to hardware. We also have window system testing, parallel testing, globalization testing, sanitation testing, right?
Yeah.
So you need to tell that as well.
Okay.
What is build? How can we define a build?
Built in the uh, underdeveloped application, and
And that's enough. If it's incomplete software or underdeveloped
yeah.
application, that's it. That's
Okay.
it. Okay. So once you receive build, how is your testing process?
Yeah. So once I receive build, I perform build verification and build stability first at the very first time. And once the build is working fine, then I go for sanity testing. And in a sanity testing, we just focus on critical functionalities, and only positive testing perform in sanity testing. No test case writing in that for sanity testing. And if I have found any bug related to critical functionality in sanity testing, then only I raise that bug to the respective developer. Then after sanity testing, I just go for functional testing, system and functional testing.
Oh.
And in that testing, I just perform with behavioral coverage, input domain coverage, error handling coverage, backend coverage, and calculation based coverage, and inter system coverage.
Okay. So let
System
us
level.
say on your website there is one attribute like mobile number. Okay, and you have to validate that attribute. What all things you will be doing?
To validating the mobile number, first I check there that attribute is focused or clickable or not. After that, I will put there some I will test both with the positive and negative scenarios. Like I will put there the character. Is it accepting character? Is it accepting the numbers only, or characters and special characters also? After that, I will check like if the attribute is accepting more than 10 numbers, because mobile number should be only 10 digits.
Okay.
So I will check just for 10 plus 1 and 10 minus 1. Yeah,
So basically you will be performing the boundary value analysis, right?
yeah.
At the same time, we verify for the mobile number which are having like equals to 10. Okay, good. Can you talk about what is meant by STLC?
SQL.
STLC. Or
Okay.
different stages involved in STLC.
Yeah. So in STLC stands for Software Testing Life Cycle, and it is a step-by-step process followed by a tester to ensure a quality product. In that process, some of the stages are involved, like test plan, test initiation testing, test plan, then test uh, test case test case scenario, test case design, test case execution, uh, uh, regression regression testing, then test summary report and test closure report. So these are the stages involved in STLC.
Okay. What are all the things you will mention in test summary report?
Test summary report we mention in my current organization, like based on the all the test number of test cases, executed test cases, uh, or a defect found in defect found, uh, how many pass, how many fail, and how many no run. On the basis of that, we generate test summary report.
What about defects?
In defect, in that report only like information about defect only. So in a defect summary report, we only mention like all the defect raised by the tester. Like if I talk about me, so I just make sure that all the defect mentioned in defect summary report, and how many like fix, how many retest, how many fixed, how many still in a pending, open state.
Okay. Tell me, can a developer raise a defect?
Sorry.
Can a developer raise a defect?
No.
For sure.
Yeah.
Developer can also raise a defect. Not an issue with that. So whenever like uh the requirement is received and developer is working, sometimes he feels that he has done the development, right? But if in the initial stages of testing, like in unit testing will be performed by developer only, right?
Yeah.
So if in that testing they found a defect, then BA may ask him to raise the defect, and in that case he will raise the defect, and then he will also assign that defect to us to retest. So developer can also raise defect.
Okay. I don't have any idea about that.
Now let's switch to Java.
Okay.
So what is superclass? What is subclass?
Superclass is what whenever we perform OOPS concept in our programming. So whenever we uh, uh, extend, whenever we try to call another class methods or members to the different class. So the from that class where we are like calling that methods or members, so that is called as parent class, and in on which class we have like calling, that is child class.
Okay. And parent class is nothing but your superclass.
Superclass.
Child class is your subclass.
Subclass.
Okay. Good. So tell me, can we access properties from subclass to superclass?
Yeah.
How?
Using upcasting, we can return the properties of superclass. Subclass to the superclass.
Okay. And do we need any loops concept before that?
Yeah, first of all, we have to extend that class into subclass, and after that we can perform upcasting.
Okay.
So that we can return all the properties to the superclass.
And what is the format or format of upcasting
Format
or like code
will
to do
we have to like generate the object, create the object of. Sorry, I'm not be able to recall.
Okay. Will you be able to explain what is meant by driver equals to new clone driver? How it works?
Yeah. So this is performed by using upcasting. So whenever we want to return some uh, um, subclass properties to the WebDriver, we have to perform. If we use the Chrome driver, so we have to uh, create object for Chrome driver. So
Okay. So this way, we are upcasting from driver to web driver, right?
yes,
Now, what is interface?
interface. Interface is purely abstract in nature. So all the methods present in interface by default like public and static, sorry, final and static, public and static, sorry, and as it contains all the abstract methods, so need to only method definition, method declaration are present in interface. So to complete that method definition, we need implementation class, and in implementation class we can complete that all the methods.
Okay. So it's the members which are final and static, and methods are public and abstract. Okay.
Okay.
What is multiple inheritance?
Multiple inheritance is one of the type of inheritance of its concept, and multiple inheritance is not supported by Java, but it can be supported by the interface. So multiple inheritance in a multiple inheritance we can access or call or if we want to call the uh, methods or properties from our two superclasses in a one subclass. So in that case, this is the concept of multiple inheritance, acquiring properties from two superclasses into one subclass.
Okay. What is diamond ambiguity problem?
So whenever we use this concept into the Java, so that leads to diamond ambiguity property. That means JVM get confused. Like if both the superclasses have the same method name or some method name and members. So while calling them into subclass, the JVM get confused. On which class we have to call that particular method, so that leads to diamond ambiguity property.
So how is it possible with interfaces?
In interface, there are all the abstract methods, purely abstract methods. So we we can complete it into implementation class, so that maybe, sir, I'm not be able to make answer.
So basically, in the interfaces, we only have declaration but not definition,
Yeah.
and we can provide the actual code of execution at runtime, right? So wherever we are accessing that interface, at that time we can provide the definition. That's why it is possible, though it is not preferred or it is not suggested to use the multiple inheritance using interfaces. But yeah, this way we can somehow do it.
Thank
Okay. Now tell me, what are checked exceptions?
check exceptions.
Check.
Sir, exception I haven't prepared that much.
But yeah, it's important topic. So okay,
Okay.
fine. And let's move to Selenium. So do you know what is meant by gate window handle?
Get window handles. Hello.
Yes.
Get window handles is the method used by whenever we found multiple windows on a web page. So to handle to to focus from to focus the control from the main window to the child window or any other another window. So we use get window handles method.
Do you know structure of or code of that gate window handle?
Oh, no, sir.
Okay. What is the return type of gate window handle? It's set.
Web list of no
Set.
set.
Set is the return type of gate window handle. Okay. What is find elements method? Find element and find element.
Okay. So whenever we like focus on only one element, we use find element method, and whenever we have to like use multiple locators or multiple locators, we use the find elements method.
So it's not like multiple locators, but we can have similar elements with same XPath or similar XPath. That type. If we want to find multiple web elements, in that case, we will move for find elements method.
Find elements.
Do you know the structure?
Find element. Yeah. Driver dot like at the rate find by element find by method. Sorry, annotation. In that we use by dot XPath equal to some of the locator, and after that we have to declare that locator as a with the private access specifier. So web element, private web element, and variable name.
Okay. What about find elements?
Find elements. Same for that also. And return type of find element is list of web element.
But format this thing, are you sure?
Yes.
So here are initially there was single element. Now here is a list of elements. So how can you store list of elements in a single object?
Yes, that is possible using whenever we like on Google, whenever we search anything, so there may like auto suggestions.
Okay.
So we can store that whole list of auto suggestion into one of the variable. So that is possible using find by find elements.
What will be the type of that variable?
Return type.
Return type. But will it be a web element or something else?
Sir, your voice is not proper.
So will it be a web element or something else?
List of web element.
Okay. So we will save it into a array list, right? Because it's a list of web elements.
Right.
We will save it in one of the collection.
Yeah.
So then array list, you will create an object of array list and we will store those web elements into that particular array list.
Okay.
Oh. How do we perform mouse or action?
Or mouse and action. Using action class, we can using first we have to create object of action class, actions class, and after that using the reference variable we can
Can you tell me the code?
yeah. Using action class, first we have to create object of action like action, action, act equal to new action, and there in parenthesis we have to provide the driver. After that, using that act variable or reference variable, we can call method act dot keys dot enter or tab or anything what we want to perform the action.
Okay, so we don't pass keys here. We pass keys in 10 keys.
Sorry.
Okay, so what are the different methods in action class?
Different methods.
Or how can we double click using mouse action?
Well, not be able to recall.
So we are having click method. We are having
click clear.
Perform, move to element, drag and drop. Right?
Yes.
But effectively, what is the difference between this and super?
This and super keyword or keyword, na?
Yeah.
Using super keyword, we can call the same variable from super class. So whenever we have to call the same variable from the super class, we will use super dot that variable name. And whenever we have to call the global variable which is declared globally inside the class, and we have to call it from the from globally declared variable to the same class, we will use this keyword, this dot variable name.
Okay. Now, what is synchronization?
Synchronization. Okay. So synchronization means the Selenium wait, I think. Is it right? Okay. So in Selenium, if we use a thread dot sleep, so this is totally waste of time sometime, because Selenium wait has the another overcome on that thread dot sleep in Java. So Selenium wait is have three types of wait: implicit wait, explicit wait, and fluent wait. In implicit wait, we use for it is applicable for all the web elements present on the web page. And explicit wait, whenever we use explicit wait, it is only applicable for the particular web element. And fluent wait, it is I'm not be able to recall too much, but it is applicable like for the before the exception handling, fluent wait is used.
Before exception handling?
Oh yeah, it is.
So rent wait gives the frequency, that how frequently you want to implement that wait, particular wait. So if it is waiting for 10 seconds, after every 5 seconds you again want to emit that particular weight. So if you want to give weight along with the frequency, then we use weight.
Okay.
If you want to wait for particular wave element, will go for an explicit wait. And if you want to give a common time period before throwing an exception, then we'll go with implicit.
Wow.
Okay, last question from Selenium. How can we use parameterization in Selenium?
Sorry,
How can we do parameterization in Selenium?
parameterization. Um, so I am not understand that parameterization.
If you want to get data from an Excel sheet,
Yeah, how to read data, test data.
yeah.
Okay, so using the file input stream class, we have to first create object of file input stream and pass the Excel path inside that, and to read that Excel sheet, we have to call
You you need to work on Selenium a lot
yes.
because of forgetting the format. And we should know each and every code, right? Whenever we are talking about Selenium, because you've been working in automation.
Yes.
It was important. Okay.
Yes, sir.
One last question. What is the difference between absolute and relative?
Absolute and relative XPath. So absolute XPath, like it is like next parent to next child class, and the absolute XPath is typical in nature. It is hard to calculate using a tree diagram, but the relative XPath is how we calculate. We can write like from parent class to the direct child class when from where we want like
So absolute we will use from parent to immediate child.
yes,
Whenever we want to get XPath from parent to immediate child, and if we want XPath from parent to any child, that is we will
use
use
relative.
relative. But can you tell me in which situations you use absolute and in which situations you use relative XPath?
Mm, situations.
Yeah, or which condition? When you will prefer
Most of the time I use only a relative XPath, but sometimes it relative XPath not works in that case.
we can go for absolute.
Yeah, sometimes, not all the time.
So, do you know what is HTML table?
HTML table.
Yeah, any table on the web page.
Are you talking about domain?
No, not domain. Talking about there are tables available on the web pages, right?
Yes.
Normal tables. So those are nothing but HTML tables. So whenever you want to handle those tables, in that case you will go for absolute and relative XPath.
Okay, to handle HTML tables, we go for absolute.
Yeah.
Okay.
Another example to use relative XPath is whenever we have to handle dynamic web elements.
Okay.
So do you know what is stale element exception?
Yes. Sometimes locators are changed, and the previous locator we use for the fresh script, then we get if locator change, then we get stale element exception.
Correct. So if you want to handle such web elements, in that case we can use relative XPath.
Okay.
Those are fine. Yeah, and examples of relative and absolute. Okay, Neha. From my side, do you have any questions?
No, sir.
suggestion for you is you need to work on your code.
But your voice is not proper.
Now is it okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So suggestion for you is you have to work on your code. So
Okay.
all the formats related to Selenium, no, it should be like you should know each and every format because you are having 2+ years of experience and you are using it in the automation. So at least we should know all the methods in those particular classes, like select class is there to handle drop down, action class is there for mouse actions, right? We should know all the methods and their syntaxes also. Syntaxes are very much important.
Okay. No.